Is Sk8star gonna sign to YSL or not? That's really the only question I got for the video. But before we even get into that, I already know Sk8star is already signed. If you look at his previous releases, he signed to W4th Records and Island Records, which is under UMG. So he already has a deal. But if y'all tapped into the underground, you already know Sk8star was talking about Thug trying to sign him in interviews and possibly adding him to the YSL imprint, to the deal he already has. So instead of him like leaving his deal, the W4th or Island Records, I feel like it could possibly be like a W4th Records, a YSL, and Island Records, like kind of like imprint, or however the higher ups and label like decide to structure the deal, behind the scenes. So I don't know exactly how they will connect it, but I'm just a fan of the music business and I'm just looking at everything from the outside. So when that new song dropped with Teezus and Skate, Me or Us, OA, I saw it on Sk8star's Spotify page and I was like, nah, Thug didn't sign him. Like, how they let him out the deal? So like, did they just let him be independent? He just signed a YSL and Create Music Group. So when it first dropped, Teezus' name wasn't shown on the Spotify release. You feel me? If you really tapped in, you would have saw it. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, whoa. So I was like, Sk8's not gonna randomly release a song under YSL when he's already signed under a deal. That didn't make any sense to me. Then my man sent me the link. He got Apple Music and I got Spotify. And I immediately saw it was a Teezus song when he sent me the Apple Music link. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Teezus is already YSL. So I was like, if it's his song, of course it will come out under YSL. And if you don't know, YSL's under Create Music Group now. That's their distribution. And Sk8star obviously was the other artist on the song. So if you go look on Spotify, it says Teezus and Sk8star. So we now for sure know that was Teezus' song. But even knowing all of that, I still was connecting the dots. I was looking, I was like, man, Sk8's been talking about Thug trying to sign him for a while. He throws up YSL on every single picture. If anybody is slat, you feel me, he probably the biggest slat out there. Or he one of the biggest slats, you feel me, I'm slat too. You feel me? So at this point, I already feel like he already got the YSL. The cosign, he's already YSL affiliated. I'm YSL, I'm OA, I'm Igbo boy, even though I'm Ghanaian, you feel me? So shout out Iris. But yeah, you feel me? Seriously, I feel like it just makes sense. When I first started listening to Sk8star, one of my first thoughts was like, man, this is the definition of a YSL artist. It reminds me of like, he got a little bit of old Lil Gotit in him. Not saying he's copying any of Gotit sound, but he got that up tempo. He has that similar sound as Gotit with the flow, like the whole Atlanta influence around the music, the key. Skate works with Gotit's old producer, Richie Self, if you really tapped in. They got mad songs together. So if you've been tapping into underground music for some years, you know that Gotit and Richie Self really used to be locked in, like tapping into that hood baby, you feel me, like real old Gotit. You gonna hear that sound, him, Richie Self, and Richie was really part of that sound. So Sk8star being connected to YSL just makes sense to me. It didn't feel like Thug was trying to sign some random artists who didn't fit with YSL or just fit with like what they represent. So I don't know if Thug is still actively trying to sign Sk8star. There hasn't been any rumblings. There hasn't been anything that's been confirmed. Obviously, we see Sk8star with Thug. We see him with Peasy, Teezus, Diamond. So I don't know. If they announce a new deal, we'll see. But if they were able to add YSL to Sk8's deal, this new YSL is loaded, man. If you look at the new YSL right now, you got Teezus, you got Diamond, you got 1300, you got Iris, you got KO. I'm forgetting a couple of the names. You got the big dude who really big. You got somebody else too. They all got the YSL chain. So you think that? How y'all feel, man? You feel like adding Sk8star to the new YSL will make them even more better? I just feel like musically it makes sense. He already fits. The only question I got is, are they gonna add YSL to the current deal he got, or what they gonna do? I'm a business person, so I always pay attention to what goes on behind the scenes. So yeah, I feel like Thug's been trying to sign a lot of different artists to the new YSL. One of my favorite artists from Houston, his name is Guapo. If you're not tapped in, Thug has really been trying to sign him. He's been under the comments like I got whatever for you. Like, come to the new YSL, it's time. So I know Thug is paying attention to the younger artists, and he's really trying to build a new empire with this new YSL. So with this Sk8star situation, maybe I don't know. I'm trying to connect the dots, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just a fan. I love music, and I'm just peeping what I'm seeing from behind the scenes. So yeah, the song ended up just being a teaser's release, which explains why it's YSL and Sk8 Music Group. But that specific song isn't confirming anything. Obviously, we know Sk8star still signed. We know Thug was interested before. I don't know. Skate, you already got the most affiliation you could want. You know, he already fits in. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should Thug still be trying to bring Sk8star into YSL? Maybe try to add another imprint to his current deal? Or is Sk8star cool where he's at, you know, under UMG? You know, am I thinking too deeply into this, or y'all feel the connection too? Let me know. Like I said, I'm YSL, I'm Ebo Boy, I'm OA, I'm all of it, man. I just like good music. That's it, man. But let me know how you feel about this topic. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I should talk on next. I know I love music. I only love underground music. I love mainstream music too, man. So shout out my favorite rapper, Sk8star.
Hey, get bucks, nigga, you know.